You wake up and your mind wants to sprint before your feet touch the floor. Messages, meetings, meals, the laundry that whispers your name. You breathe and feel the tug to scatter yourself. Today you choose something else. You choose a calm, steady kind of focus that protects your best energy and honors your time. You choose a day that is shaped by intention, not reaction. You're listening to Queen audiobooks. You hear your own voice as a friendly guide in your head, slow, simple, clear. You do not need a complex system to focus. You need small moves repeated that fit your actual life. You start with what matters most and let the rest arrange itself around that choice. You give yourself permission to work with a quiet spine and an open face. You claim a single priority for this morning. Not a list of 12, not a vague wish. One clear outcome. You write it in plain words. You say it once out loud without rush. You feel how different your body is when you speak a chosen aim rather than carry a tangled cloud. Today, I focus on one meaningful thing and finish it. Micro practice, set a 60-second timer and clear your desk surface of 5 items you do not need. Move them to a basket or a bag. A clear surface invites a clear mind. You know that distraction is not only on your phone. It lives in worry, in people-pleasing, in the habit of saying yes when you mean no. You practice boundaries as a focus tool, not as a wall, but as a frame. The frame makes the picture visible. Without it, the day blurs. Not now, thank you. I'm protecting deep work for the next hour. I'll respond after. Work script, email. Thanks for the request. I'm heads down on a key deliverable until 2 p.m. I'll review this at 2:15 and get back to you by 4. If that timing doesn't work, let me know the deadline and I'll adjust priorities accordingly. You notice how giving a clear time window calms both sides. You are not rude, you are specific. You turn a foggy request into an agreement with edges. Your focus tightens like a lens. Micro practice, put your phone on airplane mode and face it down for 10 minutes. Place it out of reach, not just out of sight. Feel how your shoulders lower when the device is no longer tugging. You honor your energy as a living resource. It rises and falls. You ride the wave instead of fighting it. In the morning, you give your freshest attention to your most valuable work. In the afternoon, you schedule lighter tasks. You treat your attention like a budget. You spend it where the return is real. Be kind, be clear, be consistent. You let these words shape your day. Kind to yourself and others because pressure without care cracks. Clear in your plans and your communication because clarity cuts noise. Consistent in small practices because consistency beats intensity over time. Friend script chat, hey, I want to give our conversation real attention. I'm in a deep focus block until 11. I'll text you at 11:15 when I can be fully present. Micro practice, take 30 slow seconds to breathe in for 4, hold for 2, out for 6. Do that 3 times. Use your breath like a dimmer switch for stress. Your brain quiets, your focus sharpens. You acknowledge the pull of guilt. When you choose focus, you might fear you are letting someone down. Remember, a focused you gives better work, better presence, better care. You are not withdrawing, you are investing. You are not avoiding, you are aligning. Right now I'm saying no to protect my yes. Family script, face to face. I want to hear everything. I'm finishing a focused hour until 3. At 3, I'm all yours for 20 minutes, no phone. You build a ritual that opens and closes deep work. A short opening tells your brain it is time. A short closing returns you gently to the rest of your day. You reduce the friction of starting and the adrenaline of stopping. You make focus feel safe. Micro practice, write a 2-line start note. Line 1, what success looks like for this next block. Line 2, the very first small action you will take. Then begin with that small action, not with thinking about it. You protect your calendar. Your calendar is not just boxes. It is a map of your values. It shows what you truly choose. You block a focus window like you block an appointment. You give it a title that makes sense. You hold it with the same respect you give to a meeting with others. You do not apologize for defending that time. You are the one responsible for your day. Work script, live meeting. Before we add new items, I want to confirm priorities. I'm committed to the Q3 analysis first. If we need this new task, what should move so I protect deep work time and still meet our deadlines? You make your environment work for you. Light, posture, sound. You choose a chair that supports you. You choose a playlist that doesn't steal your words. You set the lighting to soft and bright enough. You tell people nearby your focus window and your next available time. You set expectations before you vanish. That is kindness. That is leadership. Silence helps me think. I'll circle back at the time we agreed. You work in intervals that match your attention curve. You do not battle yourself with a 4-hour stare. You use a cadence that keeps you fresh. For example, you might try 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off, or 25 and 5, or 90 and 15. You experiment until your body says yes. You adjust and adjust again. Focus is a craft, not a test. Micro practice, choose a single cue to start deep work. It might be opening a specific document, lighting a candle, or putting on noise-canceling headphones. Use that same cue every time. Your brain learns the pattern and drops in faster. You treat your money with the same clarity you give your time. You stop calling small spending harmless if it steals your focus later. Every purchase is a tiny vote for the life you want. You choose value over impulse. You set a simple daily money check that takes 2 minutes. You look at your balance. You note the next bill date. You confirm that today's spending matches your priorities. You do not need a complex spreadsheet to be clear. I spend on what I value. I pause on what I don't. Micro practice. Before any unplanned purchase today, count slowly to 5 and ask one question. Will this make my week easier or just my minute? If it is only your minute, give yourself the option to wait 24 hours. You speak to yourself with the same quality of voice you would use with a dear friend. No scolding, no drama, you redirect gently. When you drift, you notice and return without a lecture. Focus grows when you remove the punishment. You are training a loyal dog, not taming a wild horse. Treat your attention with steady care. I'm starting now. One small step is enough. You build a gateway to each session called a frictionless first action. You choose the first action so small it feels silly. That is the point. Open the file, name the document, type a single sentence. Your resistance lowers, momentum appears. Small begins lead to solid middles and satisfying endings. Family script text. Quick heads up, I'm off notifications for the next hour to finish an important task. If it's urgent, call twice and I'll pick up. Otherwise, I'll reply at 5. You get comfortable with saying no without apology and yes without over-explaining. You do not owe long stories for simple boundaries. You give a reason when it helps, not to beg for permission, but to add context. You keep your voice even, your words short, your message steady. No is a complete sentence, and I use it with care. You design your day like a room with doors, doors that close and doors that open. You close the door for deep work and you open it for connection and rest. You let your day breathe. Your nervous system settles when you know what kind of moment you are in. This is a work moment. This is a care moment. This is a money moment. This is a rest moment. Switching with intention reduces waste. Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of money. Micro practice, label your current block with a single word on a sticky note. Focus, admin, connect, or rest. Place it where you can see it. If you are not doing that word, return or revise. You protect your mornings as a sanctuary for thinking. You do not gift your freshest mind to lowest value tasks. You return non-urgent messages after you ship the important thing. You choose depth over speed. You know that fast answers at the wrong time cost more than they save. You give people a clear expectation of when you will respond, and you meet it. Trust grows, pressure drops, focus rises. Work script chat. I'm in a scheduled deep focus block until noon. If it's urgent, ping the team lead. Otherwise, I'll reply at 12:05 with a thoughtful update. You make rest part of your focus system. You do not earn rest by collapsing, you schedule it as a practice. Short breaks are not indulgence, they are maintenance. You treat your brain like a muscle that needs oxygen and rhythm. You stand, you sip water, you look at a far point to relax your eyes, you stretch your hands, you walk to the window. 2 minutes, 3 times a morning, returns hours to your day. I can pause without losing momentum. A short rest makes me sharper. You improve what you track lightly. You do not turn focus into a surveillance project. You simply note at the end of a block: started, finished, result, obstacle, next step, 4 short lines. You build a library of your own working patterns. You learn the conditions that help you. You repeat them. You learn the traps that drain you. You design around them. You become a master of your own attention. Micro practice. After your next focus block, write 1 bright spot and 1 friction. Bright spot is what went well. Friction is what got in the way. Decide a single tweak for tomorrow. You lower the volume of your environment. Fewer tabs, fewer open loops, fewer half decisions. You keep a capture list at hand. When a thought pops up that is not for now, you catch it. You write down exactly 1 line and a when. You tell your brain it does not need to hold that weight. Your brain relaxes because it trusts you to return. I've captured that, I'll decide on it at 4. You practice focus with others. You create shared quiet. At work, you propose focus hours for the team. At home, you agree on silent windows. You make it normal to protect deep work. You make it normal to protect deep rest. This is not isolation. This is harmony. You relate better when you regulate together. Friend script, voice note. I value our time. Can we meet at 6 instead of 4 so I can finish my focus work and show up present, not split? You keep your tools simple. A pen, a pad, a timer, a calendar. You choose no more than 3 digital places where tasks live. You close the rest. You create a calm system you can hold on a busy day. You focus on making it easy to start and easy to keep going. Complexity is seductive. Simplicity is reliable. You choose reliable. I choose the next right action and I begin. You train your mind to return from worry. Worry pulls you into imagined futures. Focus brings you back to the present task, which is the only place you can act. When worry arrives, you greet it and point it to a container. You set a 5-minute worry window later in the day. You write what worries you. You set a reminder. Your mind stops nagging because it knows a time is set. Micro practice, write a 1-line promise to your future self. I will review these worries at 4:30 for 5 minutes. Then return to your task. You align your spending with your focused life. If a purchase supports your focus, you treat it as an investment. If it chips away at your attention or creates clutter, you pause. You set a simple rule for this month: 1 in, 1 out. For any new non-essential you bring in, 1 item leaves. Your space stays light. Your mind stays light. This is financial clarity married to attention hygiene. Clarity is wealth. I spend and save to support a calm, focused life. You end your day before it ends you. You resist the urge to squeeze one more thing into the last minutes. You write a short tomorrow note with 3 lines: top outcome, key block, first action. You close loops by choosing a start. You leave your workspace tidy enough that morning you feels welcomed, not punished. You let the day rest. You let yourself rest. Family script, email. I'm offline this evening from 7 to 9 for a deep work and rest window. If there's anything time sensitive, please text before 6 so I can plan well. Love you and talk after 9. You see how focus is not tightness. Focus is spacious. It is the relief of doing one thing fully. It is the courage to choose. It is the wisdom to stop. It is the grace to begin again when you drift. You are not chasing productivity for its own sake. You are building a life that feels honest and sturdy. You are building trust with yourself. You are building a day that fits your values, your energy, your season. I honor my time, I honor my energy, I honor my priorities. Micro practice, stand, roll your shoulders back, plant your feet, and say your one priority for the next hour in a clear voice. Then sit and begin within 10 seconds. You recognize that the most powerful focus tool is a peaceful nervous system. You lead with gentle structure. You keep your pace human. You remember that a good day is not the absence of interruptions, but the ability to return with grace. You do not aim for perfect focus. You aim for returning focus. Return becomes your superpower. Return becomes your identity. You are the person who returns. Even when I drift, I return quickly and kindly. You close this session with a soft reset. You breathe once more. You look at your next hour and guard it. You send the message you need to send. You step into your work with steady presence. Today is not about rushing through. It is about moving cleanly. Your time matters, your energy matters, your attention matters. You treat them with respect and watch your confidence rise. Yesterday you claimed a single priority, built a gentle frame with boundaries, and practiced small habits that protected your attention. You felt how a clear plan, a steady voice, and tiny resets could turn a scattered day into one that breathes. Today you build on that foundation and craft a focus system you can rely on even when life tugs hard. You start with your map for the day. A map is not a prison, it is a promise. You choose 3 anchors that make everything else easier. 1 deep work block, 1 connection block, 1 maintenance block. Deep work is where you make something meaningful. Connection is where you respond to people with care. Maintenance covers admin, errands, and the small stitches that hold your life together. When these anchors are set, surprises hurt less because your day has bones. Morning for depth, midday for decisions, late afternoon for admin. I keep this rhythm lightly and adjust with wisdom. You put those anchors on your calendar in plain language and you leave air between them. Air is where rest lives. Air is where walks and water and windows live. Air is what keeps you human. If a day squeezes out all the air, you know it will not hold. A sustainable schedule is not a luxury. It is the only kind that lasts. Micro practice, write 3 short lines right now. Deep work, title and time. Connection, names and time. Maintenance, tasks and time. Keep each line under 10 words so you cannot overthink. Interruptions arrive like small knocks, then like pounding fists. You cannot cancel all of them, but you can install a door. You add a simple sign to your day that others understand. In the office, it might be headphones, a closed chat status, or a desk light. At home, it might be a visible card that says back at 10:30. You pre-communicate to cut unneeded taps on your shoulder. You treat your focus like a meeting with a person you respect. Work script, chat status message, heads down on a priority project, back at 10:30 with updates. For urgent items, call my direct line. You also install a door on the inside. That door is your ability to pause before reacting. A message pings, your heart jumps, you breathe once and check your map. Is this a connection block or a deep work block? If it is deep work, you collect the ping into your capture list and return during connection time. If it truly is urgent, you step out with intention and re-enter with intention. You do not let urgency moods decide your day. I handle urgent things on purpose, then I return without apology. You care for your future self by designing friction where you need it. Turn off one default notification that never helps you focus. Darkness around distraction makes the bright road easier to see. You add friction to impulse and you reduce friction to action. When the task is important, you make starting feel like sliding on a smooth floor. Micro practice, set your phone to grayscale for the next hour. The color drain makes social apps less sticky and your work more appealing. Your body is the instrument of your focus. You soften your jaw, drop your shoulders, unclench your hands, and let your breath lengthen. Tightness steals precision. Then you pick a tempo. Every craft has a tempo. Your deep work tempo might be quiet and steady with short crescendos. Your connection tempo might be brisk and warm. You do not rush, you do not drag, you find pace and then you keep it. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast, I choose smooth. You teach people how to treat your time by how you treat it. When you honor your own blocks, others learn to honor them too. When you break your blocks for every request, you teach people to expect you anytime for anything. You do not need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent enough that your pattern is clear. You explain once. You follow through often. Friend script text, I want to be fully with you. I'm in a focus block until lunch. Can we talk at 12:30 so I give you my best attention? Clarity with money is part of this. Scattered spending creates scattered days because you chase small fires and late fees. You choose a calm money rhythm that lowers noise. Daily 2-minute check. Weekly 15-minute review. Monthly 30-minute alignment with your values. You decide what price tags belong in your life and which do not. You make space by saying yes to fewer, better things. I buy fewer things I love and skip the clutter that costs me time. Micro practice, open your banking app, skim yesterday's transactions, and tag one as aligned and one as noise. Decide one small change for today that moves one notch toward alignment. You reduce multitasking by assigning homes. Email has a home, messaging has a home, planning has a home, deep creation has a home. When tasks live in their homes, you waste less time searching. You waste less energy switching. You decide when to visit each home and how long you will stay. If you need to break a rule, you do it clearly, not by accident. Work script, email, auto reply for focus hours. Thanks for your message. I check email at 11 and 4 to protect project work. If this is time sensitive, please mark urgent in the subject. Otherwise, expect a thoughtful reply after my next check. You honor transitions as the most fragile parts of the day. Start and stop are where attention slips. You build small bridges. Before a deep block, you close non-essential tabs, place the next 2 steps in view, and set a timer. After a deep block, you write what you finished and your very next step for tomorrow. You make it easy to leave and easy to start again. Micro practice, create a 2-sentence stop note at the end of your next session. Sentence 1, what I did. Sentence 2, where I'll pick up. Place it at the top of the document. You feed your focus, water within reach, protein in your meals, light movement often. A short walk can return more focus than another coffee. You watch your caffeine window so it helps rather than hijacks your sleep. You do not lecture yourself. You plan for the human you are, not the robot you wish you were. I fuel like a professional. Water, steady meals, short walks, then work. You practice single handling for small items. If a task under 2 minutes appears during your maintenance block, you do it once fully and move on. If it shows up during deep work, you capture it for later. You keep deep work clean. You keep maintenance efficient. You stop dragging the same grain of sand across your desk all week. Family script, refrigerator note. Focus window 9 to 11. If you need me, slide a note under the door. I'll check at 10 and respond. You build courage to negotiate priorities. People often ask as if everything is equal. You know it is not. You bring calm questions that reset reality. What is the goal? What is the deadline? What gets dropped if this new thing is top? You are not difficult, you are diligent. You protect the work by protecting the order. Work script, live conversation. Happy to take this on. I'm currently committed to the product brief due Friday. If this becomes priority one, which item should move or who can partner to keep both on track? You set rules for yourself that feel humane. No meetings before your first deep block. No email in the last hour of the day. No doom scrolling in bed. These are not restrictions, they are supports. You design a safer lane for your attention so you can drive farther without white-knuckling the wheel. I keep gentle guardrails so my best hours go to my best work. You prepare for predictable derailers, the house chore that suddenly feels urgent when a task gets hard, the social feed that promises quick relief, the colleague who drops by with open-ended questions. You name your top 3 derailers and you write a counter move for each. When the moment comes, you do not need to invent a response. You already have it. Micro practice, write 3 lines. When I feel the itch to clean, I set a 10-minute timer after I finish paragraph 2. When I want to scroll, I stand, sip water, and do 10 slow breaths. When a drop-by starts, I say I have 5 minutes instead of visible timer. You clean up decision debt. Every indecision is a tab in your mind, draining battery. At the end of each day, you pick one lingering decision and close it. Decide it, schedule it, or delete it. You do not carry today's half choices into tomorrow's clean focus. I make one decision final before I sleep so tomorrow can start light. You practice saying less but saying it better. Boundaries land when your words are few and your tone is even. You remove apologetic filler. You speak as if your time matters because it does. You add warmth without offering your calendar to be carved. Friend script, voice message. I care about this. I'm free Saturday morning for a walk. If that works, I'll plan around it and keep this evening for focus and rest. You invest in tools that remove friction rather than add novelty. A comfortable chair, a second screen if your work needs it, a quiet keyboard, a task manager you actually open. Before buying, you ask if the tool reduces steps, reduces decisions, or reduces pain. If it does not, you save your dollars for something that does. Micro practice, pick one tool you already have and learn one hidden feature that will save you clicks this week. Set a 5-minute timer and search a quick tip. Apply it once today. You protect your creative edges. Deep focus is not only analytical, it is also imaginative. You schedule time to think without typing, a notebook walk, a quiet shower, a commute without a podcast. You give your mind spaciousness so new angles can arrive. Often the solution appears when you stop jabbing at it and let it rise. I allow white space so good ideas can find me. You choose a money ritual that supports calm focus at the start of each week. You glance at upcoming bills. You set aside a small, named amount for one thing that truly delights you. You plan your groceries so your afternoons are not punctured by emergency orders that cost more. You repeat the ritual even when you feel busy, especially when you feel busy. Money clarity is focus hygiene. I practice value-based spending. My money and my time point in the same direction. You remember that you are not alone. You invite partners into your focus life. At work, you propose a team deep hour where everyone goes silent and ships. At home, you create a signal with family for do not disturb that everyone respects. You celebrate each other's finishes. You encourage breaks. Focus grows faster in a culture that understands it. Family script face to face. From 7 to 8 I'm writing. Could you handle the doorbell during that hour? At 8 I'll swap and you get your quiet window. You create a simple personal dashboard. Not a maze, just 3 measures, hours of deep work, 1 meaningful deliverable, and your energy rating. You track daily with light notes. Over a month, you review patterns. You notice which mornings sing and which ones sag. You adjust by design rather than by impulse. Micro practice, end today by marking deep hours, deliverable, and energy out of 10. Write a single sentence about what made the difference. Plan 1 experiment for tomorrow. You treat focus like a relationship with yourself. It thrives on trust. When you say you will start at 9, you start at 9. When you say you will finish at 10:30, you finish at 10:30 or stop with a clear return note. You become reliable to yourself, and that reliability quiets anxiety. You feel more at home inside your day. I keep promises to myself in small ways, and my confidence grows. You use tiny celebrations to lock in the habit. A check mark in a notebook, a short stretch by the window, a sip of something you enjoy. Your brain learns that deep focus leads to a pleasant end, not only pressure. Celebration turns repetition into desire. Desire is stronger than discipline alone. Work script, quick team post. Ship the draft brief before noon, taking a 5-minute reset. Back on at 12:05 to review comments. You give yourself grace for messy days. Interruptions will sometimes win. Emergencies will sometimes reroute everything. You do not erase your identity as a focused person because of one chaotic afternoon. You reset, you repair, you return. The power is not in never getting pulled away. The power is in how quickly and kindly you come back. I return to the plan now. 1 step is enough to be back. You close the loop on the myth that faster is better. Precision beats speed when the work matters. Presence beats volume when the people matter. You slow your mind to the pace of reality, and you produce work with fewer errors, fewer apologies, fewer do-overs. That saves time, money, and reputation. That builds a life that runs cool and strong. You end this part with a rehearsal. Picture tomorrow morning. See your 3 anchors in place. Feel your door sign ready. Hear your voice in a firm, warm tone. Imagine 2 interruptions appearing and watch yourself handle them with a pause, a script, and a return. Notice the small celebration after you ship your meaningful thing. Let your body memorize that sequence. Then write it down so morning you does not need to remember from scratch. This is my focus day, 1 deep block, 1 connection block, 1 maintenance block. I honor the plan and adapt with care. Yesterday you set 3 anchors for your day, built doors for interruptions, and practiced bridges at the fragile edges of starting and stopping. You felt how a humane rhythm and simple scripts turned random pulls into calm, intentional choices, and you saw that focus grows faster when you design your environment to help you return. Today you turn inward and build emotional steadiness as the engine of your deep work. Focus is not only a calendar skill, it is a nervous system skill. You learn to metabolize worry, to use friction in your favor, and to shrink big tasks into actions so small your resistance has nothing to argue with. You make progress feel safe, which is what keeps you moving when pressure rises. You begin by naming the story your mind tells when a task feels large. Maybe it says you must find the perfect entry point or you will waste the day. Maybe it says you need to be in the right mood. You answer with quiet authority. Mood is a passenger, values drive. You take one step that is embarrassingly small and let it open the next door. You remove the permissions slip your fear keeps trying to make you sign. I work the next true inch. I don't negotiate with avoidance. Micro practice, set a 60-second timer and write the smallest visible win for the next block. Then write the first action that takes under 1 minute. Do it immediately and let momentum carry you. You create a personal glossary that calms your brain. Draft means rough, not bad. Review means refine, not judge. Ship means share a version you are proud of for this stage, not a forever product. Words carry weight. You choose words that keep your nervous system cooperative rather than triggered. Your inner weather clears when language stops threatening you. Work script, chat to a collaborator. I'm shipping a solid draft at 3. It's a working version so we can react to something real and move faster. You disarm procrastination by making it honest. Procrastination is often a mix of fear and confusion. You ask 2 questions that expose it. What exactly am I avoiding? What information am I missing? When you answer, the fog thins. If you are avoiding discomfort, you reduce the size of the step. If you are missing info, you ask for it on purpose. You stop calling yourself lazy and start calling yourself a designer of better starts. I'm stuck because a detail is vague. Please confirm the format you prefer so I can move. Micro practice, write a 2-line courage note. Line 1, the discomfort you expect in the next block. Line 2, the benefit that discomfort buys you today. Keep it visible while you work. You build a reset habit for emotional spikes. Spikes are part of modern work. A tense message, a shifting deadline, a comment that stings. You teach your body to step off the mental ledge within 60 seconds. You stand, breathe low into your belly, and drop your shoulders. You name the spike. You choose the smallest next action that moves the work forward. You prove to yourself that a feeling is not a command. This is composure as a skill, not a personality trait. Pause, label, choose, move. I'm bigger than this spike. Family script, face to face. I'm feeling keyed up from work. I need 10 quiet minutes to reset, then I'll be present for dinner. You structure your attention like a camera shot list. Establishing shot, overview of the work. Medium shot, the current section. Close up, the very line under your cursor. You decide which shot you are in and train your eyes to match. When your mind drifts to the establishing shot during a close-up, you gently zoom back. This simple mental cue reduces the spin that pretends to be thinking but is only worry in a suit. Micro practice, write the word close on a sticky note and place it next to your screen. When you catch yourself zoomed out in anxiety, tap the note once and read the current sentence out loud. You turn down ambient cognitive noise by finishing micro decisions up front. Will you write in this font, at this size, in this template? Will your notes go to this notebook, tagged with this label? You lock these choices once so your future self is spared 100 tiny stalls. This conservation of decision fuel leaves you more patient and precise for the work that truly matters. I standardize the small so I can personalize the important. You give your mind a safe place to offload loops. A loop is a question with no landing pad. You create a loop list with 4 buckets: decide, wait, delegate, calendar. When a thought intrudes, you drop it into the right bucket with a when and a next step. Your brain learns that you are a trustworthy steward and reduces its alarms. You earn back focus by keeping promises to your own system. Work script, email to delegate. This needs a first pass by Thursday. Please draft 3 options and note 1 risk for each. I'll review at 4 on Thursday and choose a direction. You make money choices part of your emotional steadiness. Financial static amplifies distraction. You lower the static by naming what calm costs and what it saves. Calm costs small acts of foresight. Calm saves late fees, impulse buys, and apology projects caused by rushed errors. You set a cap for low-value purchases that tend to erode your attention. You pre-decide the few treats that truly refresh you and budget for them with a smile. You skip the rest without resentment because your yes already has a home. I spend with intention. My dollars and my attention point the same way. Micro practice. Open your notes and list 3 focus-friendly spends for this month and 3 drains to avoid. Put a star beside the single change with the biggest effect and commit to it for 7 days. You design a friction ladder for tasks you resist. A friction ladder has rungs that you climb without thinking. For writing, rung 1 is open the doc, rung 2 is type a working title, rung 3 is write a messy first paragraph. For analysis, rung 1 is open the data set, rung 2 is sketch a 1-line hypothesis, rung 3 is run the simplest test. You stop treating the entire staircase as one leap. You move rung by rung until resistance forgets it had an argument. Start ugly, stay steady, end clean. Friend script message. I'm on a hard task and I want to finish it well. Can we push coffee to 5? I'll be clearer and more relaxed then. You keep your identity small and your actions consistent. You are not a genius or a failure. You are a person who finishes blocks of focused work. Identity creep makes you fragile. Action focus keeps you free. You avoid the trap of labeling yourself in extremes. You show up, you do the inch, you close the loop. You let the stack of small completions define the day. You build safeguards for the afternoon slump. The slump is predictable, which makes it solvable. You schedule lighter tasks that still matter, like formatting, summarizing, or tidying data. You add a 5-minute daylight break if you can, or a window gaze if you cannot leave your desk. You hydrate. You protect yourself from decisions that spiral when your glucose is low. You treat the slump like a weather pattern you prepare for, not a personal failure to overcome. Micro practice. Set a 2-minute timer at the start of your slump window. Stand, roll your ankles, open your chest, and take 10 low breaths. Then choose a task you can complete in under 10 minutes to regain momentum. You learn the art of the decisive close. Many tasks stretch because you hesitate to call them done. You define done before you start. Done for a draft might mean coherent, complete, and spell-checked. Done for a data set might mean cleaned, labeled, and saved to the shared drive. You finish to the definition, not to an emotion. You free your future self from reopening yesterday's nearly finished work. I finish to the standard I set, not to my fear's opinion. You rehearse steady responses for common pressure patterns at work. A last-minute ad, a meeting that sprawls, a stakeholder who loves to say quick question that is never quick. You script simple phrases that steer without heat. This protects your time and your relationships because you replace reactivity with clarity. Work script, live meeting. To keep this within our time box, let's capture new topics in a parking lot. If they're essential for the goal today, we can swap them in and move another item out. You protect focus with kindness at home too. The people you love may not see the cost of tiny interruptions. You show them how you work best. You offer a plan that supports everyone, and you honor your end of the bargain. Boundaries are easier to hold when you make the benefit visible and the timing reliable. Family script text. Working heads down until 3. At 3:15, I'm all yours for a snack and a catch-up. If something urgent comes up, call twice and I'll step out. You keep your tools tidy so your mind does not trip. A clean folder structure is not only aesthetics, it is speed. You name files with dates and verbs, you sort by project. You archive finished items weekly so your working view stays lean. Every extra click is a small tax on focus. You remove taxes where you can so you can pay attention where it counts. Micro practice, rename 3 messy files with a simple standard now, date, project, verb. Move them into their correct folder. Feel the lightness of order. You invite accountability without inviting anxiety. You pick one partner who values calm progress. You agree on short check-ins and real measurements, hours of deep work, ship deliverables, energy rating. You do not compete, you witness. Being seen without shame helps you show up when your own willpower is tired. Mutual steadiness compounds. I'll send you a 2-line update at 5, deep hours and what shipped. You train for uncertainty by practicing clear downsizing. When scope expands but time does not, you do not silently accept the impossible. You reframe the goal with tears. Must, should, could. You deliver the must at a high standard, the should at a solid standard, and the could only if capacity allows. You avoid heroic chaos by telling the truth early. Work script, email. Given the added requirements and Friday deadline, I propose we lock the must-haves and park the nice-to-haves for next sprint. Here is the must list I'll deliver by noon Friday unless you want a different trade. You cultivate boredom tolerance because deep work can feel plain. Novelty spikes dopamine, craft builds results. You learn to enjoy the quiet grind by sprinkling tiny satisfactions into the process. A progress bar you shade in. A short track you play only while editing. A window view you visit after each page. You do not rely on drama to feel alive. You rely on momentum. You keep a repair ritual for days that tilt. At the first sign of unraveling, you do 3 things. You simplify your plan to one meaningful outcome. You choose a generous script for the next person you speak to so you do not pass your stress downstream. You give yourself a short walk to shake out the adrenaline. Repair early and small so you never need a full rebuild. I can start fresh at any hour. One outcome, one calm conversation, one short walk, then back to work. You align your spending with simplicity that supports focus. You reduce the number of places where money leaves without your awareness. You audit subscriptions, close duplicate services, and keep a single card for recurring payments so reviews are easy. You set a tiny fun fund each week so joy has a seat at the table and impulse has fewer excuses. You choose quality over quantity for tools you touch daily. Fewer, better, calmer. Micro practice. Open your app store or bank portal and scan for one subscription you no longer use. Cancel it now or set a cancel reminder for the billing date and write the reminder time into your calendar. You refine your social boundaries with tenderness. You can love people and still protect your prime hours. You can decline a mid-morning chat and still be a generous friend. You offer alternatives that honor both the relationship and your focus. Friend script chat, morning is my deep work time. Can we switch our catch-ups to late afternoon or Saturday? I'll be more present and happier to talk. You respect the limits of willpower and make the environment carry the weight. You keep snacks that help, not derail. You use website blockers on the sites that steal your focus. You place your phone in another room during deep work. You shrink the distance between you and the task and increase the distance between you and distraction. This is not about being strong, it is about being smart. You let your values make the hard calls for you. When requests collide, you consult your top 3 values for this season. Maybe they are health, focus, and family. When an invitation arrives, you hold it up to those values like a stencil. Does it fit? If yes, you say a clean yes. If not, you say a kind no. Values cut through the fog so you do not have to debate every decision from zero. I'm honored by the invite. I'm saying no this time to protect a commitment I made to myself. You end the day by closing your attention with gratitude, not only with check marks. You thank your mind for showing up. You thank your body for carrying you. You thank your courage for doing the unglamorous inches. You prime tomorrow by writing a fresh first action and placing it where your morning eyes will see it. You go to sleep as a teammate to yourself, not a critic. That is how confidence accumulates quietly. Micro practice, write one bright spot from today's focus and one person to thank tomorrow. Set a reminder to send your thanks in your connection block. You leave this session with a clear, simple promise. You will lead with steadiness, you will design around your own humanity, and you will keep returning when life tilts. You will not wait for motivation to grant permission, you will act from values and let motivation catch up. The more you practice, the smoother this becomes. Smooth becomes fast. Fast becomes effortless. You become the person who finishes what matters and lets the rest go. This is who I am building. A calm worker, a clear communicator, a careful spender, a generous friend, a steady partner to myself. Yesterday you built emotional steadiness as the engine of your work, turned spikes into signals, and learned to shrink any task to the next true inch. You practiced clean finishes, value-based money choices, and scripts that kept you steady with colleagues, friends, and family. Today you craft a simple operating system that turns your priorities into movement without drama. You keep 3 layers in view: direction, decisions, and details. Direction sets where you are going this quarter and this week. Decisions set what happens today. Details guide what you do in the next block. You resist the urge to live only at one layer because focus frays when you skip either the horizon or the ground. Clear direction, simple decisions, clean details. I work at all 3 levels. You make a weekly compass that takes 15 quiet minutes. You choose one meaningful outcome for work and one for personal life. You write the smallest visible version of each so success is unambiguous. Then you list 3 enabling moves to support each outcome. You place those moves on your calendar before meetings find the empty spaces. You are not busy, you are booked by your values. Micro practice, open your calendar and book 2 deep blocks for your top outcome this week. Give each a verb-based title and add the first action in the invite notes. You adopt a daily startup that lasts under 7 minutes. You glance at your compass, scan your schedule, and set your top 1. You confirm your focus windows and your connection windows. You write your frictionless first action on a sticky note and place it where your eyes land. You remove every extra tab before you begin. This is a ceremony, not a chore. I start with 1, I protect the blocks, I begin small. You refine meeting hygiene so your attention is not swallowed. You accept meetings that have a clear goal, a decision owner, and a time box. If any piece is missing, you ask before you say yes. When you host, you protect focus by ending 5 minutes early and sending a crisp after note. Meetings become a tool instead of a trap. Work script, email. To confirm, what decision will we make in this meeting and who owns it? If we can decide asynchronously, I can send a 1-page brief by noon and save everyone the hour. You turn your task list from a graveyard into a runway. Every task starts with a verb and a state of done. You group tasks by energy, not only by context. Some tasks fit low-energy afternoons, some demand a fresh mind. You stop blaming yourself for the wrong match and start scheduling with respect for your biology. Micro practice, rewrite 5 vague tasks with verbs and done states. Replace fix budget with draft June budget to 90% and send for feedback. You strengthen your capture habit so your mind trusts the system. When an off-task thought appears, you catch it in a single inbox. Not 10, not 3. 1. You include a when. Later, you clear the inbox into projects, calendar, or trash. Each item either moves or dies. You eliminate the middle world where attention goes to decay. I captured it, I'll process it at 4. I don't need to carry it now. You give delegation a clean shape. Delegation is not dumping, it is design. You write what good looks like, what to avoid, when to check, and who decides. You ask for a small first sample so you can course correct early. You praise specifics and you coach specifics. People grow, your attention returns to the work only you can do. Work script, chat to a teammate. Can you draft the outline by Wednesday too? Aim for 3 sections with 2 bullet points each and 1 example. Share a screenshot at noon Wednesday so I can steer early. You stabilize your digital environment. You choose a home for projects, a home for notes, and a home for tasks. You keep naming consistent across all 3 so search works for you. You archive weekly. You create 1 emergency shelf called parking lot for items that need holding, then review it every Friday so it never becomes a landfill. The calmer your tools, the calmer your mind. Micro practice. Create a single tag called next and apply it to the next action in each active project. Limit yourself to 5 next tags total so the word means something. You treat email as a place you visit on purpose. You schedule 2 or 3 checks. You process top to bottom using 4 moves: reply, delegate, calendar, archive. You avoid turning email into a to-do list by copying tasks into your system with a verb and a when. You protect deep work from message drip because drip becomes flood. I check messages on a schedule. I'm not available by default, I'm reliable by design. You strengthen your money clarity by linking dollars to days. You estimate how many hours of attention a recurring bill costs you. You ask if the value equals that time. If yes, you keep and enjoy. If not, you cancel or replace. You stop pretending money is separate from focus. You see the trade clearly and choose with open eyes. I spend where my time gains value and I cut where it leaks. Friend script text, I want to be present with you. I'm finishing my deep block until 5. Can we do a voice call at 5:15? I'll be all in then. You create guardrails for the creative middle, the messy place between starting and finishing. You break the middle into checkpoints: outline, rough draft, refine, review. You do not polish too soon. You do not open 10 sources when one will do. You do not switch tasks at the first twinge of discomfort. You name the discomfort and keep moving to the next checkpoint. This is the craft of staying. Micro practice, write 4 words at the top of your document: outline, draft, refine, review. Circle the one you are in. Do not touch another circle until you finish this one. You practice negotiation as a focus skill. When scope grows, you do not silently accept overload. You present options that trade time, quality, or features. You ask which lever to pull. You document the choice. You protect relationships by keeping promises you can actually keep. Work script, live conversation. We can add the new section by Friday if we reduce visual polish or shift the deadline to Monday. Which trade serves the goal best? You train for interruption recovery with a re-entry ritual that takes 60 seconds. You note the last sentence you wrote, the next sentence you will write, and one word that describes the tone you want to maintain. Then you set a 3-minute timer to restart. A small time box removes the weight of beginning again. I am back now, 3 minutes to restart, then I keep going. You tighten your boundaries with family while keeping warmth. You explain the why, offer a when, and stick to it. You reduce friction by making your plan visible and reliable. People trust what they can predict. Family script, fridge card. Focus 7 to 8, door closed means work. At 8 we do breakfast together. If it can't wait, knock twice and I'll pause. You reset your relationship with perfection. Perfection is fear in fancy clothing. Your standard is excellence, not endlessness. Excellence has edges, clear goal, defined audience, fit for purpose quality. You stop when the work meets those edges. You ship, you learn, you improve. This cycle builds confidence faster than polishing alone. I finish to excellent, not to impossible. You adopt a calm review at day's end. You mark deep hours, what shipped, and your energy score. You celebrate one decision you made early instead of late. You prepare a two-line tomorrow note with top outcome and first action. You close your tools and step away. Ending is a habit like starting is. You honor both. Micro practice, write a one-sentence thank you to yourself for a choice that protected your focus today. Read it out loud before you shut down. You design a budget for your attention like you design a budget for your money. You set caps for low-value time, social scrolling under 10 minutes a day, reactive email under 40 minutes, meetings under 30% of work hours. You set minimums for high-value time, 2 hours of deep work, 20 minutes of movement, 10 minutes of quiet. You track lightly for a week and see what your real life shows. Then you adjust. I underfeed distraction and overfeed depth. You simplify collaboration by making decisions visible. You write the decision, the owner, the date, and the why. You place it in a shared spot. You avoid ghost decisions that change without record. You reduce U-turns. You reduce repeat debates. Clarity frees collective focus. Work script, project channel post. Decision, adopt option B, owner, Priya, date June 12. Why, faster to pilot, easier to measure. Next review, June 26. You handle feedback without losing momentum. Before you open comments, you define what you are listening for: logic, clarity, tone, or scope. You triage feedback into adopt, adapt, or appreciate and decline. You thank the giver by name. You implement in a single pass if possible. You protect the work from endless churn by naming when the window for changes closes. I value your notes. I'll process all feedback by 4 and freeze the draft at 5 so we can ship on time. You check your money language for calm precision. Replace I can't afford with I choose not to spend on that because it doesn't match my priorities. Replace I'm bad with money with I'm practicing one clear habit this month. Language shapes identity. Identity shapes behavior. You pick words that keep you moving. I choose value first. My choices line up with the life I want. Friend script, voice message. Tonight I'm keeping a quiet hour to finish a thing that matters. Can we switch our chat to lunchtime tomorrow? I'll bring coffee. You simplify your yes. Every new yes either replaces an old yes or breaks a promise. You practice saying, let me check my commitments and reply this afternoon. You look at your compass and your calendar. If the new yes strengthens your direction, you trade explicitly. If it weakens your direction, you say a warm no. You reduce future regret by choosing from alignment, not from flattery or fear. No for now so I can protect a promise I already made. You create small islands of silence in your day so your brain can stitch ideas together. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of input you must process. You pause the podcast on your walk. You sit for 2 minutes without your phone between blocks. You allow boredom to brew a thought worth having. Ideas arrive when you offer them room. Micro practice, set a 2-minute chime between meetings. Close your eyes, count 10 slow breaths, and notice one sentence that wants to be written. Capture it, then move. You keep resilience practical. When a plan collapses, you salvage the substance. You ask, what is the core outcome we still need? You compress or simplify, then you execute. You do not wait for a perfect window that will never return. You make a smaller promise and keep it. You trust that kept promises rebuild momentum. I choose the essential piece and deliver that well. You end this part by walking your next day in your mind. See your compass, hear your startup, feel the first action begin. Imagine one meeting and the script you will use to shape it. Picture a friend texting mid-block and your kind redirect. Picture a family knock at your door and your warm plan. See yourself protecting deep work without sharp edges and shipping something that matters by early afternoon. Let that sequence become muscle memory. This is my system now. Compass, calendar, clean starts, kind boundaries, steady finishes. Yesterday you built a simple operating system. A weekly compass, a 7-minute daily startup, verb-based tasks, scheduled message checks, and clean guardrails for meetings and collaboration. You linked dollars to days, negotiated scope with clarity, and practiced reentry rituals that let you return quickly without guilt. Today you deepen stamina. You learn how to hold focus across longer arcs. The middle of projects, the middle of months, the middle of a year when novelty fades and real craft begins. You practice energy management, social boundaries that recharge you instead of draining you, and review habits that keep your work aligned with what matters. You make steadiness feel natural. You start by naming your true capacity for the season you are in. Capacity is not what you could do on your best day. It is what you can hold on an average week without fraying. You consider sleep, care duties, commute, health, learning. You treat capacity like a budget. You do not spend more focus than you earn. You plan under your ceiling so you can deliver without grinding your teeth at midnight. I plan for the week I actually have, not the fantasy one. Micro practice, write 3 lines. Hours available for deep work this week. Hours promised to meetings. Hours reserved for rest and maintenance. Look at the totals and adjust once so the numbers match your real life. You treat projects like journeys with stages and checkpoints. Early days are exploration, middle days are construction, closing days are polish and ship. When you feel lost in the middle, it does not mean you are failing. It means you are exactly where builders live. You mark your place on the map and you keep building. You do not restart your route every time doubt speaks. Work script, project channel. We are in the construction stage. Today's target is completing sections 2 and 3 to solid. Review tomorrow at 10. We'll save polish for Thursday so we can ship clean on Friday. You stop letting meetings cannibalize your best hours. If someone drops a mid-morning invite into your deep block, you counter with calm clarity and options. You respect the work by guarding the hours that move it. Your tone is warm, your boundary is firm. The result is fewer scattered hours and more finished work. I keep my deep block protected. If we need to meet, I'm available at 1:30 or 4. You design social energy with intention. You decide which connections refuel you and which need shorter windows. You schedule high-energy conversations when your cup is full and low-stakes catch-ups in lighter slots. You allow yourself to say not today without adding a novel-length apology. Your presence improves because you stop overbooking the self that has to show up. Friend script message: I want to be present, not rushed. Can we move our call to Saturday morning? I'll bring a calm mind and a long walk after. You tune your environment for endurance. You build a small kit that signals long focus: water bottle, soft light, headphones, one pen that writes smoothly, one tidy surface. You keep the kit portable if your location changes. When you place the kit, your body recognizes the cue and enters a working state faster. Friction drops. Starting becomes a known path. Micro practice: prepare a focus kit in 2 minutes. Place the items you use every session in one tray or pouch. Put it where you begin your day so setup is a single motion. You train your attention to recover from context switching with less cost. When an interruption ends, you do not reopen every tab. You glance at your stop note, read it out loud, and repeat the last phrase you wrote. You breathe once, set a 3-minute timer, and make the first small move. The timer breaks inertia. Your hands lead your mind back to the lane. I return with the smallest next action, then let momentum carry me. You upgrade your calendar from a list of boxes to a living agreement. If you break a focus block, you reschedule it within the same week so your promises do not dissolve. You track a rolling count of deep hours, not just meetings attended. This simple count pulls your attention toward depth. You ask at week's end whether the count matches your outcomes. If not, you adjust inputs, not only intentions. Micro practice: at day's end, write 2 numbers: deep hours planned, deep hours delivered. Add a short note about the gap and one tweak for tomorrow. You reduce hidden drains by cleaning the seams between responsibilities. Seams are where you hand work to others or receive it. Poor seams leak energy. You define the handshake: what done means, where the file lives, who decides when check-ins happen. You remove vague from the seam so follow-ups do not multiply. Work script handoff email: attached is the draft to spec. Location is the team share folder under Q3. Done means 3 sections, each with 2 examples and a 1-paragraph summary. You own edits to clarity, I own content. Quick sync at 3 tomorrow to clear any blockers. You give your finances the same steady cadence you give your projects. Mid-month is where budgets wobble. You pre-plan a mid-month check that is small, consistent, and friendly. You do not punish, you steer. You verify upcoming auto drafts, scan for surprises, and nudge one category down or up for the second half of the month so your spending tracks your values. I run a 5-minute mid-month money check so my choices stay aligned. Micro practice: open your accounts and schedule a 15-minute calendar event titled Mid-Month Money Reset for the same date every month. Add 3 bullet points to the invite. Scan upcoming bills, review grocery and fund totals, decide one nudge. You practice low-drama negotiation with yourself. When you're tempted to drift, you do not launch a lecture. You offer a deal. 5 minutes of pure focus, then decide to continue or switch to a lighter task. Most days, the 5 minutes carry you farther than you thought possible. You free yourself from the false choice between heroics and giving up. 5 focused minutes, then I choose again. You strengthen boundary scripts at home so your personal life supports your best work and your best presence. You make expectations visible to reduce repeated explanations. You offer clear trade-offs and keep them. Reliability builds trust. Trust makes boundaries easier to hold. Family script: face-to-face. I'm protecting 7 to 8 for deep work. At 8, I'm all yours for breakfast and I won't touch my phone. If something urgent pops up, knock twice and I'll pause. You build a fatigue-safe plan for late afternoons. You choose one admin lane and one creative light lane. Admin might be filing, labeling, scheduling. Creative light might be formatting slides, finding examples, or refining headings. You avoid decisions that punish a tired brain. You create a clear runway so the day can land smoothly instead of crashing. Micro practice, write 2 10-minute tasks you can do when energy dips. Place them on a card titled Slump Savers and keep it at your desk for easy reach. You make reflection brief and powerful. Weekly, you run a 4-question review that fits on one page. What mattered? What moved? What blocked? What to change? You write short answers, pick one tweak, and schedule it. Reflection without scheduling is memory. Reflection with scheduling is leadership. I learn from my week and translate it into one change I will actually make. You protect mornings for depth not by force but by making evenings kinder. You set a small shutdown ritual, tidy the desk, capture loose tasks, set a first action, choose a bedtime you respect. You avoid dragging unfinished work into your sleep. A quiet evening prepares a focused morning. Your nervous system thanks you with clearer thinking. Work script, chat to team, logging off at 6. I'll start tomorrow with a deep block and send the draft by 10. If urgent after 6, call my phone twice and I'll step in. You right-size your promises. Overpromising is a tax paid with interest. You practice telling the truth about time. You build a delay buffer into your estimates and protect it. You trade features or polish rather than surprise people at the last minute. Your reputation shifts from fast replies to reliable results. I'd rather underpromise and deliver with confidence than rush and redo. You choose a simple method for tracking long goals so they do not drown in daily noise. A monthly page holds 3 outcomes, 1 per life area. Work, personal, money. Each has 3 lines under it. Current status, next milestone, next action. You glance weekly and update. The page keeps your horizon visible without a complicated system that collapses under its own weight. Micro practice, create a single page titled Month at a Glance with 3 headings: work, personal, money. Fill each with current status, next milestone, next action. Keep it within one screen so your brain can hold it all at once. You let money clarity support focus by giving every dollar a simple job. You choose 4 buckets that match your life: essentials, goals, fun, buffer. When a new spend appears, you ask which bucket it belongs to. If a bucket runs low, you either pause or move money with a clear decision, not a shrug. Your future self feels held because your today's self is a reliable manager. My dollars have jobs. My spending reflects my values and protects my calm. You cultivate graceful firmness at work when last-minute asks arrive. You do not flinch or flare. You clarify, you offer options, you anchor back to the goal. Your tone is steady. People learn that you are helpful inside reality, not inside fantasy. Work script, live conversation. Given the deadline, we can do a lean version by Friday that hits the core goal. The full version needs until Wednesday. Which path serves best? You invite your team or household into your focus culture without preaching. You propose experiments, not laws. You share the benefits you feel, not the rules you follow. People respond to relief. They mimic what brings ease. Gradually, you build shared habits: focus hours, message windows, quick stand-ups, short retros. The mood shifts from frantic to purposeful. I'm trying a silent hour each morning. Want to try it with me and compare what we get done? You switch from motivation dependence to ritual dependence. Motivation is flaky. Ritual is stable. You anchor deep work to the same cues: sit, water, timer, first action. You anchor shutdown to the same cues: stop, note, tidy, stretch, lights off. Your body learns, your mind follows. Focus becomes muscle memory. You design for travel and disruptions by packing a portable focus plan. A short list of tasks that fit airplanes, waiting rooms, hotel desks. Reading, outlining, planning, short emails drafted offline. You keep momentum when the world wiggles. You return home with progress instead of a pile of guilt. Micro practice. Make a travel tasks note with 5 items that need only a laptop and silence. Keep it pinned so you can switch to it instantly when your day gets weird. You ensure your digital spaces reduce friction rather than add it. You create a default desktop with only what you need for your current project. You use profiles or spaces to keep work contexts separate. You archive weekly so your attention is not split by last month's leftovers. You search less and build more. I keep only what I'm using in my field of view. Everything else waits in orderly places. You practice clean, brief gratitude as a leadership tool. When teammates or family respect your boundaries or help you protect focus, you name it and thank them. Repeat behaviors grow where they are appreciated. Gratitude is not fluff, it is steering. Friend script voice note. Thanks for shifting our chat yesterday. That small change let me finish a hard piece and show up happier. I'm grateful. You turn setbacks into specific learning, not identity bruises. A messy day is feedback about conditions, not a verdict on you. You ask which lever to pull: time, energy, scope, support, sequence. You change one lever and try again. This scientific posture keeps your confidence intact while your system improves. I run experiments on my process. I am not the problem, I am the designer. You add a gentle money habit that lowers ambient stress, a mini emergency buffer you can touch without shame. Even a small amount changes your nervous system. You feel less yanked by surprise expenses. You think more clearly when the tire pops or the bill surprises you. Calm is cheaper than panic. Micro practice. Open your banking app and set an automatic weekly transfer of a small amount into a buffer account. Name the account Calm Fund so your brain connects it to peace, not scarcity. You return to the heart of stamina, recovery. Deep focus requires deep rest. You design micro rest into your day and macro rest into your week. Short pauses every hour. A longer block each weekend for nature, novels, or a hobby that asks your hands to move and your mind to loosen. You do not earn rest, you need rest to earn results. I rest on purpose so my work can be powerful. You finish by walking through tomorrow as an endurance day. See the start ritual. Feel the protected block. Hear your boundary script land kindly. Picture your midday reset and your late afternoon slump savers. Imagine your 5-minute mid-month money check and the relief it brings. Watch yourself ship something real and close the day with a clean stop note. Let the feeling of a steady day settle into your body. I am building a life where focus is normal, work has edges, money is clear, and rest is respected. Yesterday you strengthened stamina. You mapped capacity to your real week, guarded the middle of long projects, and practiced recovery as a skill so focus could last. You turned re-entry into a 60-second ritual, tuned your environment for endurance, and ran small money rhythms that lowered stress and protected attention. Today you refine communication as the quiet engine of focus. You learn to ask for what you need without friction, to reset expectations before they tangle, and to translate vague requests into clear agreements. You practice scripts that save hours, reviews that take minutes, and decisions that stick. You keep your words short and your promises visible so your mind can stay on the work. You begin with clarity before speed. A quick reply that creates confusion costs more than a slow reply that creates alignment. You give yourself one breath between reading and responding. In that breath, you choose a verb: confirm, decline, propose, ask, decide. Then you write a small, sturdy message that moves the work forward. Your reply becomes a lever, not a loop. I respond with a decision or a next step, not a drift. Micro practice: open one recent message thread that feels muddy. Write a 2-sentence summary of the goal and the one decision needed. Send that summary to align the thread before anyone types more. You turn assumptions into questions. Assumptions are attention leaks. You replace guesswork with calm prompts that surface constraints early. Budget, timeline, scope, quality bar, audience. You do not interrogate, you collaborate. The earlier you know the edges, the easier it is to aim your focus like a beam instead of a floodlight. Work script, email. To hit the mark, can you confirm the audience, success criteria, and deadline you're targeting? If helpful, I can propose a lean version for Friday and a fuller option for next Wednesday. You standardize handoffs to reduce mental rework. Every handoff carries 3 pieces: what done looks like, where the source of truth lives, and when the next check-in happens. You codify this once with your team and reuse it everywhere. New projects feel calmer because the scaffold is familiar. You spend less attention reinventing the process and more attention solving the real problem. I'll deliver the draft to the shared folder by 2 with a 1-paragraph summary and labeled sections. Quick review at 3 to confirm we're on track. You give feedback in a way that protects everyone's focus. You name the goal first, the gap second, and the change third, 1 point at a time. You praise precisely so the other person knows what to keep. You avoid the vague good job that helps no one. Clarity is kindness when time is short and standards are high. Micro practice: pick one deliverable you're reviewing today. Write 3 lines: keep, change, question. Share it as your comment header so your notes land cleanly. You simplify your own asks. You request help with a finish line in view. You say what good looks like, show an example, and specify the next check. People move faster when they can see the target. You reduce ping-pong messages and recover hours that used to disappear into clarification. Work script chat: could you take first pass on the FAQ? Aim for 8 questions, 1-sentence answers, friendly tone. Share a screenshot by 4 so I can steer before you write the rest. You lean on quiet scripts for the social side too. You love your people and you also love your deep hours. You can hold both truths. You say no, offer a clean yes later, and keep it. You keep warmth in your voice while keeping the boundary in place. Relationships thrive when your presence is whole, not split. Friend script text: I'm in a focus block until 6 so I can finish strong. Wanna walk at 6:30, I'll be all yours. You reduce context collisions at home by naming lanes. Lanes keep everyone from skidding. You define work lane, family lane, admin lane, and rest lane. You share your next lane with the people you live with and you ask for theirs. Fewer surprises, fewer resentments, fewer accidental interruptions. More finished work, more real connection. Family script: face to face. From 7 to 8 I'm in the work lane with the door closed. At 8 I'm in the family lane, no phone. If you need me urgently, knock twice, I'll pause. You strengthen decision hygiene. Many delays hide inside half decisions. You write the decision, the owner, the date, and the why. You pin it where everyone can see it. When new information arrives, you update deliberately rather than drift. Shared clarity lowers the risk of doing the same conversation 3 times. I'm recording the decision now so we stop rethinking it in circles. Micro practice, pick one active project and write a one-line decision log entry. Decision, owner, date, reason. Share it. Notice how it calms the room. You keep meetings narrow. Narrow meetings respect focus. You invite only the people who move the decision. You cap the time to what the decision needs, not to the calendar default. You end when the decision is made, not when the clock tells you to. You leave 5 minutes for the after note so progress does not scatter into memory. Work script, calendar invite note. Goal, choose option A or B for launch, pre-reads attached. Decision owner, Maya, time box 25 minutes, end early if decided. You align your money conversations with the same clarity. Fuzzy agreements with yourself or your household become friction later. You pick a simple budget rhythm, write the numbers where all can see, and give every dollar a job. You talk about trade-offs without blame. Calm money conversations protect focus because fewer surprises means fewer emergencies. I'm choosing a cap for eating out this week so we can keep our buffer intact. If we want to go over, we'll trade from the fun fund, not the savings. Micro practice, write a 2-sentence money agreement with yourself for this week. One line names a cap or target. One line names what you'll adjust if life changes. Read it once daily. You practice setting tempo in conversations that tend to sprawl. Sprawl eats afternoons. You open with a goal, confirm time, and propose a structure. Most people relax when you offer a frame. You are not being controlling, you are being generous with everyone's day. I have 20 minutes. If we spend 10 choosing the goal and 10 deciding next steps, we'll leave with momentum. You design escalation paths that do not torch your calendar. Not every urgent ping is truly urgent. You make a policy people can trust, clear channels for emergencies, clear hours for deep work, clear expectations for response times. You post it once. You honor it yourself. The culture shifts slowly, then all at once. Work script, team channel, focus hours 9-11 daily. For true blockers during that window, call my direct line. Otherwise, I'll reply at 11:05 with next steps. Be kind, be clear, be consistent. You let this refrain shape how you write, how you meet, how you spend, and how you end your day. Kind in tone, clear in request, consistent in follow-through. The trio reduces noise more reliably than any app. You turn conflict into collaboration by naming shared aims. When requests clash, you do not argue positions. You return to the goal and ask what protects it best. You invite options and trade-offs. Focus survives conflict when the group can see the same North Star. Work script, live meeting. We both want a stable launch. To protect that, we can either trim features or shift the date. Which trade serves the goal better? You shorten review cycles by using prototypes and low-fidelity previews. Seeing something beats describing it. You share a sketch, a mock, a 2-paragraph outline. People react faster and you avoid rework. Early clarity saves the heavy lift for the right direction. Micro practice. For your next deliverable, create a 1-page or 1-slide version first. Share it for alignment before you build the full piece. You keep boundaries from sounding like walls by pairing them with a plan. A boundary alone can feel like no. A boundary with a plan feels like not now, here is when. The second protects relationships and your calendar at once. Friend script, voice note. Tonight I'm keeping a quiet hour for a deadline. Tomorrow at 11 I'm free for coffee and I'll be fully present. You practice empathy without overextending. You can understand someone's urgency and still protect your deep work. You mirror the concern, offer options, and refuse to adopt their timeline if it breaks your own. This balance turns you into a trusted partner rather than a reactive firefighter. I hear the pressure. Here are two paths that respect the deadline in our quality bar. Tell me which one to run. You bring the same steadiness to family logistics. Shared calendars, visible lists, clear ownership of recurring tasks. You reduce micro-asks and last-minute scrambles by making the plan a thing everyone can see. You turn reminders into rituals so you spend less attention supervising and more attention living. Family script, fridge note. Trash nights are Tuesday and Friday. I'll take Tuesday. Can you own Friday? If either of us can't, we swap in the morning. You audit your digital language for hidden pressure. Words like ASAP, quick favor, and small tweak disguise scope. You replace them with honest estimates. You ask others to do the same. Precision prevents resentment. Resentment is an attention thief. Micro practice. Scan your last 5 outgoing messages and replace one fuzzy phrase with a specific time or size. Notice how your stomach unclenches when your words match reality. You protect creative momentum by using checkpoints instead of perfection. You define a review window and freeze time. You adopt feedback you agree with, decline what does not serve the goal, and move on. Work ships. Confidence grows. You become the person who finishes cleanly. I'll process all comments by 3 and freeze the draft at 4 so we can hit tomorrow's milestone. You clean up money leaks that start as communication leaks. A subscription you meant to cancel. A fee you forgot to dispute. A duplicate service no one owns. You assign ownership, set reminders at renewal dates, and write a one-line policy for trial signups. Clear words save real dollars. Saved dollars by calmer weeks. I'm the owner of our tools list. I'll review renewals on the 1st of each month and post changes. You learn to pause at the threshold of yes. The moment before you agree is where most overload begins. You say, let me check my commitments, and respond by 4. Then you check. If the request fits your direction, you trade openly. If it does not, you offer a kind no or a later yes. You protect your future self by buying time for a true answer. No for now to protect a promise I already made. If timing shifts, I'll revisit. You craft a short ritual for resets after tough conversations. You walk, breathe low, name one thing you handled well, and write the first action you'll take next. This breaks rumination and returns your attention to what you can influence. You move from story to step. Micro practice. After your next harder than expected call, write a 3-line debrief. What went well, what to change next time, what I'll do now. Do the now step immediately. You let silence do part of the work. Not every ping deserves instant words. You allow space for others to think, for emotions to cool, for ideas to surface. Silence protects your focus and improves the quality of your responses. You make silence a tool, not a gap. I'll think on this and reply by noon with a clear recommendation. You teach people how to reach you best. You post your preferred channels and hours once, then act consistently. If someone pings you in the wrong place, you redirect kindly and reply in the right place. Over time, your world reorganizes around the clarity you offer. The net effect is fewer misses, fewer repeats, more peace. Work script reply. For tracking, I'm moving this to the project channel and will reply there by 3. Thanks for shifting so we keep everything in one place. You normalize brave conversations about workload. You say when your plate is full. You propose options instead of martyrdom. You ask for sequencing, support, or scope changes. You do this early so help still helps. Your focus thrives when you stop hiding the real constraints. I'm at capacity this week. If this is priority 1, I need to delay X or pair with Y to deliver well. You build a glossary of ready-to-say lines that prevent spirals. A handful of sentences can safeguard dozens of hours. You practice them out loud until they feel natural in your mouth. You use them before you are tired, not after. I can't do that today. I can offer a lean version by tomorrow afternoon. I'll need a brief to proceed. 1 page with goal, audience, deadline is enough. I'm closing for deep work now and will return at 2 with an update. I'm choosing the essential path so we can ship on time. You close this session by designing a single-page communication charter for yourself. It has 4 boxes: how I ask, how I respond, how I meet, how I decide. Under each box, write 3 lines that match your season. Keep it visible for 2 weeks. Adjust only after you try it in the wild. A small charter reduces ambient friction so you can pour attention into your best work. Micro practice: schedule a 10-minute block today titled Chart or Draft. Write 1 line per box. Share it with a teammate or loved one who benefits from your clarity and ask for 1 suggestion. You walk through tomorrow in your mind. See your inbox processed with decisions, not delays. Hear your boundary scripts land warm and firm. Watch a meeting end early because the decision was recorded. Picture a money chat that takes 5 calm minutes and sets the week straight. Feel the quiet satisfaction of shipping because your words cleared the path for your work. I use clear words to protect deep work, steady relationships, and calm money. Yesterday you used clear words to protect your time, asked for what you needed, and turned vague requests into clean agreements. Meetings shrank, decisions stuck, and money talks grew honest. Today you knit everything together so focus is not a trick you do alone, but a way your whole life supports you. You align home, work, and money into a calm ecosystem that carries you even when you feel tired. You start where you live. Your space is not a museum, it is a workshop for a focused life. You keep what helps you think, create, and rest. You let go of what demands maintenance but offers no return. You assign each surface a job so clutter has nowhere to hide. A table for meals and talk, a desk for deep work, a nightstand for quiet and light. Space with a job keeps behavior clear. I give every room 1 purpose so my mind knows how to behave there. Micro practice: walk 1 small loop in your home with a paper bag and remove 10 items that distract rather than serve. Place the bag by the door for donation or recycling. Breathe and notice how air returns to the room. You design signals so everyone can read your day at a glance. When your door is closed and the desk light is blue, you are in deep work. When the light is green, you are available. When the light is amber, you are in a short reset and can be interrupted for essentials only. Visual signals prevent repeated requests for attention and protect relationships because people are not guessing. Family script: face to face. Blue means I'm in deep focus for 50 minutes. Green means I'm open. Amber means 2 minutes to finish a thought. If you need me during blue, knock twice and I'll pause at the next break. You bring the same clarity to your digital home. Your devices are entry points to your mind. You group apps by task and hide those that steal attention. You send entertainment off the first screen. You keep your dock or home row for the work you value most. You set a default do not disturb that switches on without your help during deep hours. You use your tools as tools, not as tides. I decide when my attention opens and when it closes. My tools follow my lead. Micro practice. Move one addictive app into a folder named Later and place your calendar, notes, and timer on the first screen. Turn on Do Not Disturb for your next deep block and set an auto-reply that explains how to reach you for true emergencies. You create shared agreements at work that turn personal focus into team focus. You propose focus hours, message windows, and a simple decision log. You suggest a weekly 15-minute ship circle where each person shares one finished thing, one blocked thing, and one change they will try. The circle is short, honest, and practical. Progress speeds up because energy goes to doing, not to defending. Work script, channel post. Proposing focus 9/11 daily with emergency calls only. Message windows at 11 and 4. Decision log pinned with owner, date, and why. 15-minute ship circle on Thursdays at 4. Let's trial for 2 weeks and adjust based on results. You make your social life match your season. Seasons change. There are seasons for building, for resting, for caring, for grieving, for celebrating. You give words to your season so friends understand your patterns and feel honored, not pushed aside. You invite them into your plan rather than vanishing. Warmth and firmness can live in the same sentence. Friend script text. This month is a build season for me. I'm keeping evenings quiet Sunday to Thursday. Friday nights and Saturday late mornings are my open windows. Want to walk this Saturday at 9. You integrate focus with money so each protects the other. You choose a simple value map: essential, growth, delight, noise. Essential keeps you stable. Growth expands your options. Delight renews your energy. Noise drains both money and attention. You look at last month and sort your top 10 spends into those 4 boxes. You do not shame yourself, you adjust the mix. You decide a small increase for growth and a small decrease for noise. You notice the peace that arrives when your dollars and your days point in the same direction. I fund the life I'm choosing. Essential first, growth next, a touch of delight, no room for noise. Micro practice. Open your last statement and mark 1 spend as growth you want to keep and 1 as noise you will cut. Set a 5-minute reminder to cancel or switch the noisy one. Move the saved dollars to a line you care about by name. You design how you enter and exit each day as a household. Mornings protect deep work, evenings protect rest. You align breakfasts, commutes, and bedtime so everyone's prime hours are honored at least some of the time. You post a simple weekly grid on the fridge or a shared calendar: deep, connect, admin, rest. Each person gets a fair share. When life squeezes, you renegotiate the grid openly rather than hoping someone silently absorbs the cost. Family script, shared calendar note: deep blocks, moan Thur 7-8 for me, 8-9 for you. Connect, dinner 7-7:30 with no phones. Admin, Sunday 4-4:30. Rest, Saturday morning long walk. You prepare gentle protocols for the messy human moments that tend to derail focus. Hunger spikes, conflict, tech failures, surprise bills. Protocols turn panic into action. For hunger, you keep protein within reach. For conflict, you pause and return after a short walk. For tech, you store backups in 2 places and have a paper list of recovery steps. For bills, you keep a calm fund and a plan for who calls and what to ask. Preparedness is kindness to your future self. I follow a small protocol instead of spinning: pause, check, act, return. Micro practice. Write a 2-line tech rescue note and tape it inside a drawer. Backup location, support contact. Do the same for bills: account numbers, location, phone numbers to call. The note is your calm anchor when adrenaline spikes. You set boundaries for generosity so giving remains joyful. You can be generous without becoming a default bank or default calendar. You decide ahead of time what you give in time and money each month. You choose causes and people on purpose. You say no when a request does not fit your season or your budget. You feel lighter because your yes is clean and your no is kind. I give within my plan so I can keep giving. I'm saying no to this request and yes to the causes I committed to. You make collaboration lighter by removing mystery from roles. Who decides, who advises, who executes, who is informed? You use these words in your project notes so the team does not debate the same choices twice. You rescue days that used to disappear into loops of unclear ownership. Work script email. For this piece, owner is Lewis, advisors are me and Hannah, executor is the design team, informed are sales and support. Owner calls the decision by Thursday at 3. We'll review once and ship Friday. You stop letting your calendar be an open market. You protect white space the same way you protect meetings. You decline without guilt when the proposed time steals your deep hours. You offer alternatives that keep your energy intact. Your reliability rises because you stop overextending and start honoring the work that pays everyone's bills and sanity. I can't meet at 10, that is my deep block. I'm free at 1:30 or 4. If this is best in writing, I can send a one-page brief by noon. You plan for high-stakes weeks with the same clarity you bring to regular days. Launch, exams, deadlines, family events. You choose 3 moves that reduce friction, pre-decide meals, reduce meetings, and clarify response times. You inform your circle and ask for support in one clear message. People will help when they can see how. Friend script message, big deadline week, I'm off the grid most evenings. Can we move our chat to Sunday afternoon? Thanks for understanding and cheering me on. Micro practice, for your next high stakes week, schedule a 15-minute pre-brief with yourself. Choose meals, cancel 2 non-essential meetings, post your response hours in your status. Put the plan in one visible place. You build a practice of deliberate downtime that renews you instead of numbing you. Numbing steals time and gives little rest. Renewal returns attention with interest. You pick 3 renewers that fit your season: a walk without audio, pages from a book you love, unhurried cooking, music that asks nothing of you. You place renewal on the calendar like work and you treat it as a non-negotiable because it is. I rest with intention so I can work with intention. You shape your identity around actions you repeat, not titles you hold. You are a person who starts on time, finishes to definition, and repairs quickly when you wobble. You are a person who spends where it counts and pauses where it costs more than it gives. Identity makes choices easier because your yes and no come from who you are, not from mood. I am the person who returns to the plan and protects what matters. You make focus friendly for the people you love by involving them in the benefits. You show how your deep hours lead to shorter evenings at the laptop. You show how your money clarity leads to fewer surprise scrambles. You offer trade-offs that feel fair. You keep your word. They feel the relief with you and become allies. Family script text, if I keep 7-8 quiet, I can shut down at 6 and be phone-free all evening. Can we protect that hour together? I'll handle dishes after. You give yourself permission to be quiet in the face of other people's urgency. Urgency is often contagious. You quarantine it with a sentence and a plan. You do not absorb someone else's crisis without checking your map. This is respect, not refusal. I hear this is urgent for you. Here is what I can do by today without breaking existing commitments. For more than that, we'll need to trade or move a deadline. Micro practice, write a 30-second script you can use when urgency arrives unexpectedly. Keep it on a sticky near your screen. Use it once this week and notice how your heart rate changes. You put boredom to work. When a task feels dull, you do not chase novelty. You increase challenge or add meaning. Set a time target, count completions, tie the task to the person who benefits. You make the work harder or kinder rather than noisier. This turns plain moments into practice that improves your craft. I add a simple challenge and a clear why, then I do the reps. You ensure your money habits scale. As income rises or falls, principles stay steady. You automate essentials, pay yourself first into goals, fund your calm, and let fun have a budgeted seat. When something changes, you adjust percentages before you adjust values. Stability returns quickly because the structure holds. I update the ratios, not the values. Essentials, goals, delight, buffer stay in place. You reduce future rework by creating finish lines that others can see. At the end of a project, you write a one-paragraph story of what was decided and why. You save key files in the right folder with clean names. You post one lesson you will carry into the next piece of work. This small ritual makes your effort compounding rather than one-off. Work script, wrap note, shipped V1 to spec. Decision rationale in the doc. Files archived under 2025 Q3 project name. Lesson, align on examples earlier. Next time I'll share a one-page prototype by day 2. You handle invitations with grace and truth. You stop padding your no with reasons that invite negotiation. You keep your words short, your tone warm, and your plan visible. You protect your calendar by aligning choices, not by hiding. Friend script, voice note. I'm saying no this week so I can keep a promise to myself. Let's look at next Friday morning. I'll reach out Wednesday to confirm. Micro practice, create a template note on your phone titled Kind No. 2 lines, warm thanks and clear decline, then one alternate. Use it once in the next 7 days. You design a quarterly reset that keeps you oriented without overwhelming you. 1 page, 1 hour. You review your month at a glance, tally deep hours, note what brought pride, and choose 3 outcomes for the next quarter. 1 work, 1 personal, 1 money. You schedule the first actions before you close the page. This reset resets you. I choose fewer goals and stronger rhythms. I place the first step where I will trip over it tomorrow. You train for disruption by building modularity into your work. You break projects into pieces that can be completed in small windows. You keep an offline list ready for power cuts or travel. You keep a tiny toolkit in your bag or car. You stay moving when others stall because your system does not depend on perfect conditions. I can advance the work in 10-minute bricks. Perfect is optional, progress is not. You close this part with a rehearsal of integration. See your space holding its purpose. See your signals working without words. Hear your work scripts land with calm. Picture your weekly grid protecting deep, connect, admin, rest. Feel your money flowing through essential, growth, delight with noise trimmed. Imagine one surprise arriving and you following your protocol, then returning to your task with a steady breath. Let the image settle until it feels like a place you know. I live inside a system that supports me. My environment, my words, my calendar, and my money all point toward a clear, calm life. Yesterday, you brought your whole life into alignment. You gave each room and each hour a job, synced your signals with the people around you, and tuned your money to fund essentials, growth, and real delight while trimming noise. Today you close the circle. You seal these habits into identity, prepare for seasons to change, and design a way to return to calm focus whenever life tilts. You begin by naming who you are becoming, not only what you are doing. Habits are the bricks, identity is the house. When a choice appears, you answer as the person you are practicing to be. You aim your words and your calendar at that identity until the aim becomes automatic. I am a calm finisher. I protect depth, speak clearly, and spend in line with what matters. You soften the myth that a perfect week is required for a good life. Good weeks are built from dozens of small recoveries. You accept that attention will drift, plans will collide, and emotions will spike. You win by repairing quickly and kindly. You turn repair into ritual so you never need heroics to get back on track. Micro practice. Write a forward repair cue on a sticky and place it near your screen. Notice, breathe, choose, begin. Use it the next time you feel pulled sideways and start with the smallest true action. You choose seasonal settings for your system. Settings lower the cost of decisions because you adjust once, not daily. Build season asks for longer deep blocks and simpler evenings. Family care season asks for tighter focus windows and extra recovery. Study season asks for more review rituals and lighter social plans. You label your setting, tell the people who share your life, and let the label guide 100 small choices. Work script, email. I'm in a build season through September. To protect delivery, I'm keeping 9 to 11 as quiet, deep work. For new requests, I can offer a lean version by Friday or a fuller option next Wednesday, which serves best. You give your nervous system anchors you can reach anywhere. A breath pattern you trust, a posture reset that unfurls your chest, a hand-on heart moment that lowers threat and restores choice. You rehearse these in calm so they are ready in chaos. Focus starts in the body before it shows up on the screen. I slow my breath, lower my shoulders, and choose the next clean action. Micro practice, stand, place your left hand on your abdomen and your right hand on your chest. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Repeat 3 times. Whisper your next action on the last exhale and begin. You make your calendar a mirror you can respect. Each block tells a true story about your values. You book deep work before anything that can expand to fill a day. You plan admin in clusters. You cap meetings at the level that still lets you ship. You leave air so you can stay human. When a block breaks, you reschedule it before the day ends so promises survive turbulence. I schedule my best hours for my best work and honor them like meetings with people I admire. You practice money sanity as part of focus hygiene. You automate the basics and keep a weekly money check under 15 minutes. You review only what affects the next 7 days. You look for one friction to remove and one choice to celebrate. Your goal is not perfect tracking, your goal is a quiet mind that can think. Micro practice, open your calendar and create a recurring Sunday check titled Money and Map, 15 minutes. Inside the invite, write 3 lines. Confirm upcoming bills, move dollars to match this week's plan, choose one joy you will fund on purpose. You rehearse reality with compassion. New deadlines will appear, people will need you, tech will fail. You make a tiny plan for each. For deadlines, you cut scope or shift dates early. For people, you offer a clear when and then keep it. For tech, you print a page with your recovery steps and keep an offline task list. You stop being surprised by the predictable and start being prepared. I can't add this as is and hit Friday. I can deliver a lean core by Friday or the full version by Wednesday. Tell me which to run. You make maintenance sacred so craft can flourish. You tidy your tools, archive closed projects weekly, and maintain a single source of truth. You refuse to pile tasks into memory. You refuse to let files multiply without names. You respect future you as if she were your best collaborator because she is. Friend script text, I keep tonight for maintenance so next week runs smooth. Walk Saturday at 9. I'll bring coffee and a clearer head. You protect relationships with honest lanes. You let loved ones know when you are switching lanes so they never have to guess. You trade, not just take. If you guard an hour for deep work, you give an hour for presence. If you ask for quiet, you offer a concrete plan for connection. Trust grows in the soil of kept agreements. Family script face to face. I'm off notifications 7 to 8 to finish the report. At 8 I'm all yours for breakfast, no phone. If you need me before then, knock twice and I'll pause at the next break. You accept that attention leaks through tiny cracks. You keep a capture list within reach in every setting, desk, bag, kitchen. When an idea or worry pops up mid-task, you catch it with a single line and a when. You close the loop later during connection or maintenance. Your mind relaxes because you stop asking it to carry what paper can hold. I captured that thought and gave it a time. I return to the work that matters now. You treat boredom as practice for mastery, not as a cue to escape. You pair plain tasks with gentle challenges, count completions, set a short target, see how smooth you can make your motions. You add meaning by naming the person or purpose your work serves. You finish without drama and leave a clean stop note behind. Micro practice, choose a dull task you have avoided. Set a 7-minute timer. Decide a tiny challenge like 10 invoices filed or 2 paragraphs formatted. Begin, count, finish, and write one sentence about how you made it smoother. You keep one page that holds your North Star, 3 lines only, why you work, who you serve, how you want to feel as you work. You read it on Mondays and any time your calendar fills with other people's noise. You make choices from that page. The more often you use it, the easier your no becomes and the cleaner your yes feels. I choose the work that matches my why and funds my life with integrity. You practice generous candor at work so you can protect focus without bruising trust. You say what you can do and when, and you ask what should move if a new request arrives. You keep your tone even and your sentences short. You offer options and document decisions. Candor reduces rework. Rework is expensive in hours and in dollars. Work script live meeting. To keep Fridays stable, we can either trim features or shift the date. If we trim, I'll lock scope today. If we shift, I'll post a new plan by 2. You create a simple ritual for energy in the middle hours. You choose water, light, and movement over sugar and panic. You step outside if you can or look out a window if you cannot. You let your eyes rest on a far point, then return. You spend 2 minutes to save 2 hours. I can pause for 2 minutes and return sharper than before. Micro practice, set a recurring alarm at 2 p.m. titled Reset and Return. When it rings, stand, roll your shoulders, look into the distance for 20 seconds, sip water, and name the first line you will write or the first cell you will edit. You translate money into time so choices sharpen. You ask how many deep hours a subscription, gadget, or habit is costing you each month. If the value outweighs the hours, you keep it with gratitude. If not, you cancel or replace it and reclaim the hours for something you love. You make your budget a vote for your best attention. I spend where my hours come back multiplied. I cut where my hours disappear. You design endings that honor the day. You close your tools, write your tool line tomorrow note, and choose a tiny celebration. You thank anyone who honored your focus that day. You thank yourself for the inches you moved. Gratitude closes loops that perfection never will. Ending cleanly is how you begin lightly. I'm proud of the way I work today. Tomorrow starts with one clear action. You prepare for storms you cannot time. Illness, layoffs, market shifts, family emergencies. You shrink your plan to a minimum viable day, one meaningful inch of work, one act of care, one money check that keeps you solvent, one breath that keeps you kind. You release the rest without shame until capacity returns. The floor you set in storms protects your future ceilings. Micro practice, write your minimum viable day on a card and keep it near your desk. 1 inch, one care, one check, one breath. Use it the next time life lurches. You keep upgrading your environment with subtraction. You remove one friction each week, an unused app, a drawer of tangled cables, a meeting that never earns its hour. Subtraction reveals ease. Ease invites depth. Depth ships work that matters. Friend script message, I'm trimming my week so I can show up well. Can we make our catch up a Saturday walk? I'll be fully present and happier to talk. You turn your focus system into culture without lecturing. You model short, clear messages. You show up on time for your own deep blocks. You celebrate other people's finishes. You share tools and scripts when asked. Culture shifts because relief spreads. People repeat what reduces friction. You invest in learning that specifically raises the value of your focused hours. You choose one skill each quarter that makes your work faster or better, and you practice it with intention. You spend money and time where the return is clear. You skip courses that are shiny but misaligned. You measure progress by shipped improvements, not by certificates. I learned to make my best hours more valuable and my tired hours more humane. You practice soft power with your calendar. You resist overexposure to noise by curating inputs. Fewer feeds, better sources. You choose a small news window, a small social window, and you keep them small. You remain informed without being inflamed. Your attention thanks you by staying available for your life. Micro practice, choose 1 hour each day as a no-input hour. No news, no socials, no notifications. Work, rest, or think start today. You teach your future self how to re-enter after vacations or breaks. You schedule a half-day buffer labeled land and align. You process inboxes lightly, review your compass, and set the first deep block for the next morning. You refuse to judge yourself for not being instantly fast. You let rhythm return like tide, steady and sure. I land gently, align simply, and begin with one clear block. You keep a small archive of your own scripts and wins. A file of phrases that worked, boundary lines that landed, financial decisions that brought peace, project cadences that shipped. On hard days, you read 3 lines and remember that you have built proof. Proof is fuel. You do not need to reinvent yourself, you need to remember yourself. I have done this before, I can do the next inch now. You close this journey with a simple truth. Focus is not a personality trait, it is a daily craft. Boundaries are not walls, they are frames that make the picture visible. Money clarity is not scarcity, it is freedom to choose with open eyes. Your life becomes calmer not because the world stops asking, but because you answer on purpose. You do not chase a flawless day, you build a sturdy one choice by choice. You stand, inhale, exhale, and speak your next hour out loud. You send the one message that protects it. You begin with the first small action. You let relief arrive because you are choosing. You feel your confidence rise because you are keeping promises. You are not sprinting. You are moving cleanly. That is enough. That is powerful. That is yours. Thank you for walking this path. Keep one promise now, then keep the next. You arrive at the last words with a steady heart. You know how to build a focused day, how to protect your best hours with warm, firm scripts, and how to make money decisions that match your values. You know how to return when you drift, and you know that returning is the real superpower. You carry these practices lightly and repeat them until they feel like home. You close the book on scattered days and open another on the life you choose. You're listening to Queen Audiobooks, and you are ready to protect your time, your energy, and your calm focus every single day. Yesterday, you sealed habits into identity and set seasonal settings so your focus can bend without breaking. You built anchors for your body, a money and map ritual for calm, and a minimum viable day for stormy seasons so you can always return. Today, you graduate these practices into a lifelong craft. You put your attention to work on what matters, protect it with clean boundaries, and fund it with money choices that match your values. You design for the years, not only for the week. You do not chase a perfect state. You keep a steady cadence that keeps you honest, kind, and effective. You begin by choosing a horizon you can see. A horizon is not a fantasy. It is a north line you can walk toward with the feet you have. You write 3 outcomes for the next year in plain words you can test in the real world. 1 outcome for work you are proud to ship. 1 outcome for relationships you want to deepen. 1 outcome for money that will quiet your mind. You promise only what you are willing to schedule. I make plans I can place on a calendar. If I will not schedule it, I will not pretend I chose it. You build an operating cadence that keeps your horizon in view while you live your days. Quarterly, you set outcomes and first steps. Monthly, you check your direction and adjust. Weekly, you book deep blocks before meetings multiply. Daily, you start small and finish clean. You do each layer lightly so none collapses under its own weight. Micro practice, open your calendar and add a recurring first Friday session titled Horizon Check 30 minutes. In the invite notes, write 3 lines, outcomes, obstacles, 1 next action. Keep it that small. Your courage grows when you make finishing normal. You stop trying to feel done and instead meet your definition of done. You define it before you start, who it serves, what it includes, where it lives when it ships. You finish to that line and move. Your confidence comes from kept promises, not from compliments or mood. I finish to the definition I set. I ship, learn, and improve. You train your attention to work like a lens you can adjust. Wide when you map the plan, medium when you outline the parts, tight when you write the next line. You decide which lens you are in and return to it when worry tries to blur your view. This prevents the classic stall where you zoom in and out so fast that you never build anything solid. Micro practice, at the top of your next document, type 3 words, wide, medium, tight. Circle the one you are using now. If you switch, say it aloud and circle again. You make agreements the foundation of your calm, agreements with yourself, with colleagues, with family. Agreements are stronger than wishes because they are visible, simple, and scheduled. You keep your side first. You do not wait for perfect conditions before you honor your word. When a change is needed, you renegotiate, not disappear. Work script, email. To protect quality, I'm locking scope at noon today. If new items appear, we can schedule a lean add-on next week. I'll send the final draft at 4 with a short summary. You let generosity support focus instead of erode it. You give in ways that do not undo your day. You offer clear yes windows and kind no's. You choose help you can deliver without resentment because resentment costs more than time. You trust that people prefer your honest capacity over your hidden exhaustion. Friend script, voice note, I want to help. I can proofread 2 pages tonight or the full piece Friday. Tell me which serves you best. You keep your money language steady and specific so choices feel clean. You remove drama words and use direction words. You replace I'm terrible with I'm practicing a weekly check. You replace I can't ever with not this month because I'm funding a goal. You make numbers simple enough to hold in your head, then you act on them with the grace you give a friend. I spend by design, not by accident. My dollars and my days point to the same life. Micro practice, set a 2-minute timer and write a 1-sentence money story for this season. What you are funding, what you are pausing, and why it matters. Read it aloud once a week. You build your days like a craftsman builds a bench, joints that fit, surfaces that feel good to the hand, a structure that holds weight. You select tools that reduce friction instead of adding features. You put everything in the same place every time so your hands do not hunt. You stop wasting focus on avoidable puzzles. I solve the right problem. I remove hidden friction so my attention can do real work. You get honest about thresholds. There is a threshold where more meetings lower quality, a threshold where more spending raises stress, a threshold where more hours reduce output. You identify these lines in your life and protect them. Your aim is not more, your aim is right-sized. Right-sized produces work and a life you can stand inside. Work script face-to-face. If we add 2 more meetings this week, delivery slips. To protect the goal, let's consolidate into 1 decision session with clear pre-reads. You turn comparison into curiosity. When you see someone's speed or shine, you ask about their process, not your worth. You borrow 1 practice, try it for a week, and keep it only if it earns its place. You guard your time from trends that do not serve your values. I learn from others without rewriting my life for their season. You weave steadiness into your relationships so your boundaries breathe. You offer presence when you promised presence and focus when you promised focus. You check in before pressure spikes, not after. You let people know what to expect and then you meet those expectations with warmth. The combination builds rare trust. Family script text, project push today. I'm head down 7 to 9 and 1 to 3. At 6 I'm fully off and yours for dinner and a long walk. You simplify the way you choose. Before you say yes, you check 3 lights: capacity, values, timing. If any light is red, the answer is not now with a plan to revisit. You do not debate yourself into exhaustion. You let your lights do their job. Decision fatigue drops, peace rises. I check the lights. Green means yes, red means kind no, yellow means later with a date. Micro practice, write capacity, values, timing on a small card. Place it near your keyboard. Use it once today before you answer a request. You put your identity to work for the hard moments. When resistance rises, you speak from who you are. You tell the truth in a sentence and start small. Identity answers faster than anxiety because it has fewer words. You move before fear finishes its speech. I am the person who returns quickly. I take the next clean action now. You make fatigue boring. Not dramatic, not a crisis, just part of the weather. You lower the bar to the minimum that keeps momentum. 1 email, 1 paragraph, 1 invoice, 1 walk around the block. You refuse to judge your worth by your best or worst day. You keep a middle that stays strong. Micro practice, write a 3-item fatigue list you can complete in under 15 minutes. 1 admin item, 1 creative light item, 1 movement item. Keep it visible for low-energy hours. You let failure become data, not a name tag. When a plan breaks, you ask which lever would have changed the outcome: earlier boundary, smaller scope, clearer ask, stronger money guardrail, better rest. You pick one lever and practice it for a week. You do not overhaul everything. You improve one notch and move. Work script chat: we slipped because we accepted scope creep without a trade. Next sprint, I'll document trades in the channel before we start. Posting the template now. You make your career a fit for your nervous system. You watch which tasks give you steady energy and which tasks drain you beyond the cost of their value. You advocate for more of the former and fewer of the latter. You learn, delegate, automate, or decline where possible. This is not selfish, it is strategic. A sustainable you gives your best to the work and the people you serve. I build my role around my strengths and protect my focus from avoidable drains. You bring grace to your financial growth. Raises, side projects, lean months, seasonal spikes. You keep your 4 buckets intact: essentials, goals, delight, buffer. As income changes, you adjust ratios, not your values. You grow your giving on purpose. You let your money reflect the person you are building, not the pressure of the moment. I grow with integrity. I keep my bucket steady and move the sliders slowly. Micro practice: open a note and write your current 4 bucket ratios. Add a second set labeled next season. Decide one small shift you will test for 60 days and schedule the review. You keep knowledge tidy so your future self can build on it. You save templates, scripts, data dictionaries, postmortems, and one-line lessons learned. You give files names that will make sense to you in 6 months. You build a library of your own patterns so each project is not the first time you have met yourself. I leave myself a map, not a maze. You make conflict a place where clarity grows. You state the goal, name the constraints, and ask for options. You listen for what the other person truly needs. You do not turn the conversation into a courtroom. You aim for a workable next step you can schedule and honor. This protects attention because drama shrinks when clarity rises. Work script live meeting: we both want a clean launch. With the current blockers, we can hit the date with a lean scope or shift the date for full scope. Which path aligns with our priority? You invest in rituals that invite joy. Joy sharpens attention and makes a life worth protecting. You insert small moments that do not depend on performance: morning light on your face, music while you prep, a message of thanks to someone who helped you. Joy is not a reward you must earn, it is part of the system that keeps you steady. I let joy into ordinary minutes so discipline does not have to do all the work. You watch your inputs with discernment. Too much input shatters focus. Too little input starves creativity. You keep a small list of sources that inform and inspire without inflaming. You visit them on purpose, not by reflex. You close the door when you have what you need and you get back to building. Micro practice: prune your follows. Unfollow 5 accounts that spike anxiety or waste time. Follow one that teaches a skill you care about. Set a 15-minute cap for news and stick to it. You honor endings with a clear handoff to your future self. You close loops with a stop note, archive files, and write one sentence about what you would do differently next time. You let completion be part of your identity. Endings make room for beginnings that fit. I close well so I can begin light. You ground your life in a simple promise that fits any season. You promise to start small, protect focus with warm boundaries, spend by your values, and return quickly when you drift. You do not need perfect motivation. You need a plan you trust and a voice you respect. That voice is yours now. Family script email: This week I'm offline from 7 to 9 each evening to protect rest. If you need a time-sensitive reply, text before 6 and I'll plan around it. Love you and thank you. You step into the years ahead with a steady heart. Your days have edges. Your words carry weight without heat. Your money supports your choices instead of silently steering them. You know how to reset, how to repair, and how to keep going. You do not abandon yourself when you wobble. You return and begin again. I honor my time. I honor my energy. I honor my priorities. I am safe to focus here. Micro practice, stand, place both feet flat, lift your gaze, and speak your next hour out loud. Send one message that protects it. Begin within 10 seconds. You close with gratitude for the person you are becoming. You are no longer hoping for calm days, you are building them. You hold your boundaries with kindness and your plans with flexibility. You spend in line with what you value and you rest on purpose. You know that clarity is a daily craft, not a finish line. You will keep practicing because the practice is the point. You finish this audiobook exactly where you live, in the next minute with the next clean action, holding your own voice steady. Keep one promise now, keep the next after that. Let that string of kept promises be the quiet proof you carry. Let it reshape the way you work, the way you love, the way you handle money, the way you speak to yourself when life tilts. You have the tools, you have the scripts, you have the plan, you have the right to protect your time and your energy. You have a life to build, and you are building it. You're listening to Queen Audiobooks, and you are ready to live a focused, values-aligned life you can trust today and every day.